Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama, where not only can you get the best price on a new Ford, but we can also get you exactly what you're looking for. We all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
Name is Bill Rice Jr. as we get ready to celebrate a Tuesday, the what day?
The 10th.
The 10th, already the 10th. And so it's moving right along. I hope everybody's doing well outside. And of course tonight from
Jordan-Hare Stadium.
From Jordan-Hare Stadium. Tonight from Riddle Pace Field. It's the Trojans of Troy against the Auburn Tigers in baseball, and it's going to be a big game, and we expect a large crowd and a lot of people rooting on the Trojans.
Well, it's not every season that Alabama or Auburn come to Troy, so when they do, it's a big deal. Well, I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. My kids are going to be there.
You're going to be eating hamburgers and hot dogs, compliments of
drinking Cokes, hamburgers, hot dogs, popcorn,
compliments of
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, compliments of the Alumni Association, Pike County Alumni Association, or the National Alumni Association at Troy, and that's you walk in.
You work for them as you should, and Faith works for them and has been the leader for a long time. And now Christy Pittman works for him, doesn't she?
Sure does. Does a great job.
That was a great hire.
No question about it. She's got all the ingredients of a person that works in that position, and of course she will be. Her job will be to help bring more and more alumni, and more potential alumni to our campus every year.
We want alumni and supporters to stay involved in their school. It makes such a big difference, and sporting events are one way you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And when the Auburn Tigers and the Troy Trojans play, that's big.
There'll be a lot of Auburn fans there and a lot of Troy fans. Auburn's
got a really good baseball team.
They really do, and Troy's not bad. Troy's 29-14. And so they're really.
Troy's got a good team.
But what they're doing, Troy's coming off of a terrible weekend against Georgia Southern. But you know what? Georgia Southern is ranked in the top 25 this year of college baseball. So.
Well, they're good.
They were.
And there was at Georgia Southern, and Troy was in 2 of the games. So it's not like they blew the last game. They should have won the last game.
Yes, no question about it. They were up, and the bullpen just didn't hold. And when your bullpen doesn't hold, you don't usually win the game.
That's right.
Of course, our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy, where they're celebrating one of the biggest sales of their year. And of course, every week's a huge sale at Premier. But this one is out of sight. And, of course, remember, if it doesn't say a Premier deal, you don't want it, I promise you, in this part of the country. And we appreciate Jason Gregory and all the great people.
Now, you know, get a car for a graduation present for your son or daughter from high school or college.
Exactly.
Maybe.
I can't think of a better gift for Joey or Mary Sue than a brand new car from Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep. And of course, remember, if it doesn't say if it doesn't show where they're having a Ram deal going on, you don't want it.
Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. After we go to the Troy-Auburn game tonight, we're hitting the road, Highway 231
That's
north.
Right.
Going to go by Sykes and Cons.
That's right.
Going to go by Sweet Creek.
You know, first of all, though, we're stopping by
Bird
Drugs to get us some sausage and biscuits
for the road.
And then we get in that Hummer.
Your Ram truck.
Yeah, that Hummer.
And every time I ride with Mike, I say, "Can I drive it?"
Yeah.
I like to drive it.
Let's just say no better car or truck on the road than that Hummer that I've got. And
you know,
of course, it's a big Ram.
It's so comfortable too. The seats are comfortable, and you're just sturdy, and it's safe, and your stereo is really
my wife
good.
would rather drive me. You know, she's got a pretty nice automobile, and she'd rather drive the truck.
Yeah. Well, you know where to get it. That's where we talk about them every day.
And of course, we're sitting here on a day where the director of the Sound of the South will be our guest today, Dr. Mark Walker, who doesn't need any explanation or need any introduction. He is one of the great band directors in America, and we're so glad he's on our side, and he's going to be our guest this morning.
Man, that is big. That is one of the most important programs in our county.
No question about it.
Most important program at Troy University.
I'm going to do something tonight or today, this morning, where it's the truth. Let me just say this. You know, this football program is very, very, very important. But you know what? This band program is very, 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 very important.
You've made that point many times.
Let me just say this. I've said it over and over again. You got the football. Most people have their football up here and the band here. Let me just say this: in the importance to our university, how having a great marching band is so important to our university. You got the football here and the band here. Believe you me.
Right now,
right there next to each other.
And in history, one of the most important hires that first, George Wallace appointed Ralph Adams president of Troy University. That was a great hire for Troy. Good job, Governor Wallace. Then Dr. Adams hired Johnny Long from the Robert E. Lee High School Band, I think, in Montgomery.
Sure did.
And he took that band to another level, and the point you're making is it brought in more students to Troy and to football games than the football games.
Tell you what.
And now you've created all these future band directors. They're sending students to Troy to this day.
Yeah. Well, they'll march over 350 young people this fall when the Sound of the South hit the field. And I'll tell you this: the value of the Sound of the South to Troy is, like I said, is just like the value of our football program. Sound of the South and the Troy University's football team go side by side.
Well, you just said it. The band program has 350. The football team has 100.
Good morning.
Morgan.
Morning.
And we're talking about the Dr. Mark Walker, Mike, the director of the Sound of the South, is going to be with us this morning for about 30 minutes, and we're looking forward to having him on.
7:30. So call everybody if you're interested in the Sound of the South. Let them know to turn on channel 2.
He's going to tell us how they do it, how they present one of the outstanding band programs in the country, in the United States of America, right here in Troy, Alabama. And when they sing, when everybody sings praises of a great band, a marching band program. See, that's the one deal about the Troy University band. It's not just a band, it's a band program.
Music program.
These are people are studying to be great band directors, just like Mark Walker.
That's right.
And they draw tremendous amount of students each year to our
They
campus.
work hard. They, they're just music students are smart, and think of all the time they put into it. They practice as many hours as a football team.
Well, I'll tell you what, their program is next to none, and we're going to find out exactly how they do it on our show today, and as we present Dr. Mark Walker, who's going to be with us today. Of course, we got some big events going on. Not only is Auburn playing tonight from the I don't want to get them mixed up, but Auburn's playing tonight at Riddle Pace Field, and then tomorrow morning, bright and shiny from Patterson Field in Montgomery, Alabama, it's going to be the Pike Liberal Arts Patriots against what?
The Glenwood. What's the Glenwood's name?
The Glenwood. I don't know.
They're the Gators.
Yeah, the Gators. That's right. The Glenwood Gators, and it's going to be the best out of two out of three for the state championship.
Troy's playing number 20. Auburn's ranked number 20 in the country too.
Well, there you go. Top 20 foe.
And they've done it.
Their assistant coach is Tim Hudson, and then Gabe Gross. Who is their head coach? I can't even.
Their head coach is I think Butch Thompson.
Yeah, that's right, Butch Thompson. And
That's right.
and listen, we're not trying to overshadow Butch Thompson, but I would think when people talk about Auburn's coaching staff, they talk about the two assistants.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great job they do. And Gabe, of course, is a personal friend of mine. I've played numerous sets of golf with him, and he can hit a golf ball, but you know what? You know who can hit it further? His daddy, Lee Gross.
Didn't he play football too?
Oh yeah, played. He was there. Let's just say Lee Gross from Montgomery, Alabama, Robert E. Lee High School, was the center for all but I think they said every Archie Manning game. He was Archie Manning's center, Lee Gross.
Oh, he played at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he played at Auburn.
Oh,
but I'm talking about in the
Pat
pros.
Sullivan's,
I'm talking about in the pros. Yeah.
Oh,
Lee Gross
he played in the pros too. Okay.
Lee Gross from out here at Ozark Striping, and maybe he's watching today. He was the center for the.
Well, there was no doubt that Gabe Gross was going to Auburn.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But at the same
time, kind of like the Thompson family out of Enterprise.
Yeah, you're right. A great Thompson family. Good friends of mine there too.
Well, the daddy was a center, and the son was a quarterback and an outfielder.
Yeah, that's right. And
Butch Thompson's the head coach. Carl Nonmaker is the assistant coach. Gabe Gross the assistant coach. Tim Hudson is the volunteer assistant and pitching coach.
So they don't even have to pay Tim Hudson.
If you're a volunteer assistant and pitching coach, I wonder if that means you don't take a salary.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
Well, let's just say this: he's got plenty of money. But I will say this: that is outstanding coaching. And the guy that you named first, he was at the game against Bessemer Academy.
Scouting Drew.
Yeah, and he told one guy, he said, "Hey, I've seen enough." Somebody was asking him about how good a pitcher.
Here, I wrote this down the other day on Drew. I still can't believe it. Here's his last three starts. Against Lee Scott 2-3 weeks ago in Auburn, he pitched 6 innings, got 18 outs, 18 of them by strikeout. I'm going to say that again. Every out in the game was a strikeout, which I am a sports fan. I've been following sports all my life. I have never heard of that. Maybe in a Dixie Youth game, but not in a high school game.
I'll tell you an experience I had. Go on, keep going.
Second game was against Clark Prep in the second round of the playoffs. Pike had a bye the first round. He pitched 5 innings because the Pike 10 run, they won by the 10-run rule. He only got, that was 15 outs. You know, you multiply 5 innings times 3 outs equals 15 outs in that game. Well, Drew only struck out 10 batters in that game, so only 2/3 of them. Then he goes on, he gets to the semifinals, so the competition's not getting lighter, it's getting better. You're in the semifinals of the playoffs, and he plays Bessemer Academy. He actually does not pitch the last out of the game. They take him out. He's getting tired, so he, instead of pitching a full 7 innings, he pitches 6 2/3 innings, which means he got 20 outs of the 21 outs in the game. Of those 20 outs, 17 were by strikeout. So Bill Rice Jr. summed it up by columns. In the last 3 games, Drew Nelson has pitched 17 2/3 innings and struck out 45 batters.
Oh, boy.
You could divide 17.245, and so that is over 90% of the outs that he has gotten have been by strikeouts. You know, I was thinking about this, Mike. One takeaway I would get from that is Pike Liberal Arts could play a team, have a catcher, maybe a first baseman, maybe put a shortstop and second baseman out there. That's all you need. Nobody can even hit the ball, get the ball in play.
That's right, yeah. But, you know.
So, anyway, I don't want to jinx Drew. But,
yeah, I don't reckon.
But over those last 3 starts, I mean, can you think of anybody that you've been following baseball in Pike County in your lifetime that has struck out 45 batters in 17 innings?
But let me tell you this.
And I think he's only given, in that run, I think he's given up
one
two
night,
hits, no runs.
Yeah. One night against the Red Sox in Little League Baseball, I was a little young right fielder, about 10 years old, and on the mound for the Indians, the rec league team, was the great Rip Talbot. Rip Talbot was a big old strong guy, and we were playing the Red Sox. Rip Talbot had struck out 17 batters, 17 of the Red Sox batters, and little Johnny McClendon came to the plate. Little Johnny McClendon came to the plate, and he hits the foul ball down the left field line, and the third baseman went over and caught it for an out, and the game was over. Well, my brother, Joel, made the catch, and to end the inning, it was caught in foul territory, and he caught it, and Rip Talbot struck out 17 out of the 18 batters.
If he wouldn't have caught that, you're saying that he would have probably struck that guy out.
That's right. Now, I don't know, little Johnny McClendon was real good, but but he did catch it in foul territory. And he could have, my brother, somebody could have gone over there saying, "Hey, drop it, Joel, drop it," because he wanted the out, but he struck out 17 out of 18.
I wasn't at the game.
And I was playing right field in his most boring game I ever played in Little League, you know, because he was throwing and striking them all out.
Sometimes in girls softball you hear about somebody that strikes out every batter. In Dixie Youth, you know, at Little League that happens, but in college or high school, the pros, I wonder in the pros what the record for strikeouts in a 9-inning game is. So that would be 27 outs. I think I remember hearing somebody say there was one game where somebody had like 20 strikeouts.
Yeah. It's great in any league, from Little League on up to the major leagues. Anytime you throw a perfect game, it would be unreal.
Well, he threw, I think, I don't know how many he got. He threw a no-hitter against Lee Scott. Against Clark, I can't remember how many hits there were, and against Bessemer, I think there were 2 hits.
And you know something, he will not even start the ball game tomorrow night. He'll start at right field, and the guy that's in left field is a great pitcher in his own right. Tell us about him.
Jeffcoat. What's Press Jeffcoat? Is that his name?
Yeah, Press Jeffcoat.
I just call him Jeffcoat. He's awesome as well.
He's just as awesome himself.
He throws in the high 80s. He's tall, strong.
In fact,
he's going to Pensacola Junior College. That is one of the best junior colleges in the state of Florida, which means he'll be playing against some of the best players in Florida. And he always, in these series, he always pitches the first game and Drew pitches the second.
And he
there's
throws
a good
hard,
reason for that.
And he throws hard. And he's a very good pitcher. You know, that's something that Rice and I always talk about. Give me 2 good pitchers, and I'll go a long ways. Well, Pike Liberal Arts can say that, but a lot of good relief pitchers also. They can bring in Lee. They can bring in your nephew.
Will, I think, is 4th or 5th pitcher.
Will is also a very good pitcher as a
well, here's where it becomes important. Some teams usually have one great. Every team that gets this far has one great pitcher. That's a given. So Glenwood is going to have a great pitcher, maybe 2.
Yeah. It's going to be
second game. You know, some teams have a really good pitcher. Then these third games is when you run out of pitching, and that's when you see these 14 to 11 games.
But you know what? Pike can bring
Pike
in Lee.
Pike has more. I think that I like Pike's chances in the third game.
They can bring in Rice. They can bring in. They've got several good young pitchers. Even if something does not go well with any one of those 2 starters.
Wonder what the pitch lended in private school. I mean, could you bring a guy back in to close a game out if you had to?
I don't know how that works.
It's not like Little League or something. I bet you could. I mean, you rarely see it, but I think, I don't know. Maybe they do have a rule against that, but that you can't come back.
I mean, say like one of the games was a blowout, and you took your starter out early.
I think you could. I think you could do that.
And close it if you had to.
You're exactly right. I think you could do that. You know,
we've seen it in a lot of Troy postseason tournaments for sure. I mean, we mentioned his name the other day. That Chase Whitley guy, who was like one of the best closers Troy ever had. They bring him in sometimes 5th, 6th inning because he was, their stopper. And in tournaments, I think he pitched one time 3 or 4 straight days.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
College ball is different, but I mean that's just the way people treat it. If you got a guy that can get out, you bring him in.
Yeah, you're right. And to tell you about what happened the last ball game. Our top pitcher gets where his arm is sort of shot, and it looked like it was.
Drew, that's how he ran that gas. Kind of.
Had given it let's just say this: Drew had given it his all, and they bring in Lee. He strikes out the next batter, and the game's over with. So really, there's other pitchers on their staff, and it just so happens that their 2 starters have been sensational for the Pike.
Well, it's kind of like they wanted the season to go. They knew they had 2 good starters, and I like that Pike and Coach Hickson, they haven't rested on their laurels. They've been the dynasty in baseball for 5 years, but they're staying hungry, they're staying humble, taking care of business. One game at a time, one pitch at a time. And then I guess these young people, they're going to lose a lot of seniors next year, but these young guys are good too.
Oh, yeah.
And they're learning from the best.
That's exactly right.
And they should just continue on next year, although next year it isn't going to be in the AISA.
And ladies and gentlemen, people say this all the time, that Glenwood gets the best players in the Phoenix City, Russell County area, and even probably parts of Lee County. And I'll tell you right now, there's no better baseball being played right now than Lee Russell, Phoenix City, Alabama.
We think Pike is unbeaten, and they have been. Well, they've lost 4 games, so they're beatable.
Yeah.
But Glenwood has only lost 3 games all year, and they've beaten Pike. So this series, if you get a chance to go or watch it on Troy Cable, it's going to be on Troy Cable on Channel 2.
Troy Cable on Channel 2 will be showing every pitch. And,
it's a 50-50 coin flip, as I would see it, is who's going to win this series.
Isn't it amazing where C Squire and can bring in local baseball from Montgomery, Alabama.
Live.
And you can walk into your den or your office, they flick it on, and you're watching that game live.
You're going to be watching Jeff Cope pitch and Drew Nelson, who will be in the pros one day probably.
And let me tell you another thing. Not only will we be bringing you one game, we'll be bringing you 2 games and possibly 3 games. Mm-hmm. We're going to do every game on live television, brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. And right now, we're going to take a short break. We're awaiting the presence of one Mark Walker right after this.
Our gigantic Mayday sale is here. Got $29? Yes. Get a new car. Got $29? Yes. Get a new truck. Just $29. Get you a new truck or car. Yeah. Or shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch. A high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
Right here. Right now. Got $29? Yeah. Get a used car, truck, minivan, SUV. You name it. That's right. Just $29. Get you a pre-owned vehicle during dollar days. All you need is $29 down. PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Piggly Wiggly's local butchers are on site at both stores and will help you select the best cuts of meat and trim them to your liking. Our USDA choice beef is the most consistently tender, juicy, and flavorful beef you can buy. All at cost plus 10%.
I know. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, other news is the terrible way to end life. Yeah, tell us about it, Ryan.
Yeah, they called them up in Evansville, Indiana.
Michael can tell us.
They've been staying at a hotel or motel up there for 6 days, and there was a police chase. The car rolled over, and then they got the prisoner, or the guy that was in prison for murder. He got out of the vehicle and said my wife had shot herself, but I did not shoot her. So she took her own life. The jailer, Vicky White, was pronounced dead. It came out, I guess, yesterday that they had called him and said that she had self-inflicted gunshot wound. And when you heard that, you kind of knew that she was taking her own life, or had taken her own life.
Oh boy, so tragic.
So she was she was a
what, Mike?
Crazy story.
Oh yeah, real crazy story. And
she was a jailer at the Florence County Jail in Florence, Alabama.
Well, yeah, Lauderdale County.
And then this guy is in the jail waiting trial for a murder case, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
They finally bring...
Yeah, double murder, yeah.
Steve, check out front.
And she ends up having a romantic relationship while he's an inmate, and then she gets him out, busts him out of jail, and then they're on the loose, and this is how it ended.
And she was...
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stories written about this. A lot of people are going to wonder why in the world they, just in Evansville, Indiana.
I know it.
6 days. It seemed like they would have been traveling throughout the country.
It looked like they were trying to get into Canada, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, if they would have got into Canada, Canada has really weird laws as far as
extradition.
Criminals back to the United States. What is it, extraditing, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think if they would have made it to Canada, I think he would have been in the Canadian prison system. Is the way it works. I think it's the way I've read before. But anyway, crazy story, and you knew that eventually they'd get called. The thing that was going to catch them is the fact this guy was 6'9", 300 pounds.
You know the sad. You
can't hide a guy that's 6'9", 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know something too? The real sad part of this, there'll be a picture. I mean, there'll be a movie depicting this. There'll be no question in my mind. It has all the credentials of a movie.
Well, I want to know more about. They said he's kind of a lifelong criminal, but why wasn't he in the prison system? And why he must have? I want to learn more about the murders that he allegedly committed that he was waiting on trial for.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. The lady, the story behind her, she had already put in her retirement papers. She sold her house for $95,000 less than the asking price. She had planned this for months. The way the story read. So, of course, this made national news. This was all the major media outlets. So when they were in that motel room, I'm sure they saw the coverage. So.
Yeah, I was watching Tucker Carlson last night, and at the end of his show, he's talking about politics and whatnot, and then he has 3 minutes on this Alabama case. Yeah. So it was the national story.
Well, it was an unusual way to end the life, and I hated to see her end her life. I really did. And I don't know why she felt like she had to do that. I mean, it was nobody would love to be in prison for the rest of your life, but it's better than being dead for the rest of your life. Is the way I look at it. Wouldn't you say that, Nick? And wouldn't you say that, my good friend?
Yeah. I was looking at the college football transfer portal as far as you got a former Oak.
Oh, you're breaking up. He's breaking up.
Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Go ahead.
You got a former Oklahoma State quarterback that's in the portal named Peyton Thompson, a quarterback out of Cal named Blake. The Bishop Chop, Grant Grinnell out of Memphis is in the portal. Joey Yellen out of Pitt is in the portal. Seth Smith out of Marshall, their quarterback's in the portal. Wake Forest quarterback Billy Edwards is in the portal. We got a quarterback out of Colorado State named Evan Olez is in the portal. Haran Ramson out of Georgia Southern is in the portal. Trevor Altman out of New Mexico State's in the portal. Interesting, this guy, I thought this guy was a walk-on. I mentioned the other day, but Florida has another quarterback in the portal named Carlos Del Rio Wilson. 4-star quarterbacks in the portal. So, Troy might be going after a quarterback just to bring in some extra numbers. They've only got 2 scholarship quarterbacks. Another quarterback out of Central Florida named Parker Navarro is in the portal. So there's quarterbacks out there. I don't know Troy.
How about linemen? Hey, how about those big old fat linemen? That's what I want.
You know what I think is the shortstop for Pike LeBlanc's baseball team, White, his daddy was the football coach.
Yeah, he plays baseball.
He plays baseball. I wonder how he's doing at Florida State. He didn't have a good senior year at Pike LeBlanc in baseball. But man, he was a really, really good quarterback. I think that kid played the wrong sport.
Yeah. I've been told he is doing well at Florida State.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can pull up the numbers.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up the numbers on him. And then could you pull up the numbers?
You're talking about Mays White?
Yeah, he was one of the top, when he came to Troy, he transferred in, they said he was one of the top baseball prospects in America, and he's a good shortstop.
He came from Tuscaloosa Academy.
Yeah, that's right.
Then the other guy we can check that is the Brundage basketball player that went to Shelton State or in Tuscaloosa.
We're going to find out about everybody this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Mays White only appeared in only 5 games played the whole year. He must be injured.
Or are they going to redshirt him? And I could understand them holding him back. I'm sure Florida State's got plenty of shortstops. And I would think that would be probably what happened.
Does he got any at-bats?
Also, it's going to mention the former Charles Winston star basketball player, the Davenport girl in the transfer portal again. So
oh, really?
She's left Rutgers. She's left Georgia. So I don't know where her. I guess maybe she might have 1 year left to play college basketball.
You know what? Troy could easily get her.
Come home to Troy.
Yeah, I wish she would. How many years eligibility, Mike?
I think maybe 1 or 2. I think everybody gets the COVID year, so she might have 2. You never know. She might try to go to Belmont. Her former high school teammate Nora Jones.
I'm gonna ask Dr. Mark Walker, who's going to be our guest in a few moments. I'm going to ask him, do we have any band members in the portal? That he's a sax, first chair sax in the portal.
I bet you get some transfers come in.
I bet that happens a lot in the bands, actually.
Let me just say this. I am tickled pink to have Dr. Mark Walker as our guest on this show today, and I hope you'll hang in there, and we'll be back with more, and of course, a visit with Dr. Mark Walker.
Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama, where not only can you get the best price on a new Ford, but we can also get you exactly what you're looking for. We all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill, but I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
Hey, Jim Jackson with Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC right here in Troy, Alabama, and we've got some exciting news for you. After a 2-year suspension, GM has now reintroduced the sold order process on the redesigned GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500. So come in and order yours today and not have to wait 6 months to get exactly what you want. So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Here we go. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Mark Walker, the director of the Sound of the South Marching Band, is our guest this morning, and he's a good friend of mine. And
thank you, Mike.
And of course, we're hunting another cup of coffee. Hopefully, we'll get one. So we're laid back. Good looking shirt there, man.
I appreciate it.
And that's y'all's new logo, is that right?
Well, yeah, we've had this for a while. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mark Walker needs no introduction, but I know enough about him to say things about him. And of course, he graduated from the Tennessee Tech.
That's right, Tennessee Tech, up in Cookeville, Tennessee.
In Cookeville, Tennessee, and then you transferred to
University of Illinois for my graduate work.
Illinois for his graduate work. And you know, and then when you first came to the attention of Troy University, tell us how that happened.
Well, I was up in Champaign-Urbana, up at the University of Illinois, and my wife, Jessica, had just had our child, Emily, and so this is in 2002. 2001 is when Emily was born, and 2002...
You're fine. No, you're fine. I'm just doing something.
In 2002, I finished up my coursework, and I needed a job, and so I started applying all over the country. And I had some interviews here and there, and I came down to Troy and fell in love with it. And of course, I knew Troy's reputation. I knew about Dr. Johnny Long and all of that kind of stuff. So I came down and went back home, and my wife and I are driving somewhere, and they started playing Sweet Home Alabama on the radio. Yeah. And I turned to Jessica and I said, "We're going to Alabama." And literally later that day, Dr. Dennison, who was the chair of the school music, called later that day and offered me the job.
And that's something. And of course, the rest is history. And you've been here now, how many years?
20 years.
20 years, ladies and gentlemen, of the Sound of the South. And we haven't missed a beat. Now, of course, it's like you're...
no pun intended either.
It's like you're interviewing Nick Saban for the job. You know, Dr. Johnny Long, the tradition, and all the things that went with the Sound of the South.
Yeah, that's right. I interviewed with... I didn't interview formally with him, but I certainly met him and all of that. I interviewed
had you heard of him before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his people who know about bands, and they know about Dr. Long. Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely.
So when they start talking about great bands in America, the Sound of the South is right in there with them.
Absolutely.
Now, where did you go to high school?
I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and so I went to.
You were in the marching band also.
Wait a minute. Do you know who's from Fordyce, Arkansas?
Who?
See, they don't have to worry about that. That's where Bear Bryant's home.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's right.
So hey man, listen, Johnny Long and Bear Bryant go hand in hand.
Yes, that's right.
Now, what instrument did you play in high school?
I played baritone, and that was my main instrument. And I also played tuba and trombone and a bunch of other stuff.
But you were big enough. I bet you the high school coach wanted you to play football.
They did. But I was, I wanted to do band. Yeah. So that's what I did.
And it goes hand in hand. To me, a member of the Sound of the South band and a Troy University football player. There's greatness here and greatness there.
Yeah. Well, we're very fortunate that we have a great relationship with our athletic colleagues, and Brent and Kyle and Sandy and Mike Friggy and all those guys that we work with on a pretty regular basis are just phenomenal folks.
And Mike Friggy is always mentioned because it don't go unless Mike Friggy says it can go.
That's the truth. And but they're all just top-notch folks, and we've worked well with them my entire career here, and it's a really special relationship that I'm extremely grateful for. And the games are fun. We're there to entertain and to support the team and hopefully bring back lots and lots of wins.
Yeah. Of course, you got here to Troy, and you it was not a big town or anything, but did you realize you were when they started playing the music and so forth? Did you know you were in a real special place?
Yeah, because Troy being a moderately sized town. Now, I've lived in smaller towns. But I used to be a band director in West Texas. Okay. It was over pretty close to New Mexico, and that was a tiny little bitty town. So, Troy's a nice moderate sized town, and this university is a nice moderate sized university, but we have this big band program, and it's just a testament, I think, and I'll say this to anybody, it's a testament to the commitment of the university, to the commitment of Ralph Adams, to the commitment of Dr. Hawkins and all the folks in town and everything to maintain and grow the band program. I mean, that's most schools our size and in our size community do not have a band program like this. And so,
and you know, we were talking earlier about, you know, there's a difference in a band member and a person that is a actual are in it for the long run. What do you call it? The band?
Oh, the music major.
The music major.
That's right. Yeah. So we have music majors, and they're folks who are planning on making a career either in teaching or in performance or some kind of music, something in the music field. And then we have non-music majors who come from elsewhere in the university.
Just to have fun.
That's right. They just come and they want to have fun. They want to go to the ball games. They want to be part of a great marching band.
You know, I watched your marching band many times. You know, I'm a huge fan, and you know, every time y'all go out there, especially during football season, you know, getting ready for football, I just get fired up every time I hear you. But you know, these guys that are non-band members. You know, a guy told me this recently, and you can verify it. Like the state of Georgia has a Hope Scholarship,
right,
where a kid can go to school absolutely free,
right,
with a Hope Scholarship.
Florida does
but these guys, there's a world of kids, ladies and gentlemen, that could go to school free on a Hope Scholarship, but want to elect to go to Troy University to be a member of the Sound of the South, and sometimes have to pay more.
Sometimes, you know, it all depends on their particular circumstances, and we do offer scholarships through the band, and they're good scholarships, you know, but you know, they're not covering they're not covering full tuition or anything like that.
All right, now I'm just throwing these out: Bainbridge, Georgia; Valdosta, Georgia. There's so many.
Well, we've had a ton of kids from over there.
Let's check this out real quick.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. Hello.
Hey, Bill. It's Will Matthews.
Hey, Will. Good morning. We've got Dr. Mark Walker, the director of the Troy Music Program in the Sounds of the South Marching Band, with us.
And Will, you reckon there's ever been a kid from Ozark that marched in the Sound of the South?
You know, back in the 70s and 80s, when I grew up, there was a constant flow of band members from Ozark. Ozark used to have a real good band back in the old days.
Yeah. You know, in the same way with Charles Henderson used to have a real good band, bro. I should say that, but they don't have it. You know, I can remember. I was looking at a yearbook the other day back in the 80s. Hey, they would have 150 and 200 people in the band in that same way in Ozark. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you that question. Are band programs smaller today than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago? And if so, why? In high school, I'm talking about. Or does it vary? Or does it vary?
Well, it varies. I mean, there's some very, very large band programs. For example, Lowndes County over in Georgia has almost 500 kids in their marching band.
All right. Isn't that amazing?
It is. Now, it's also a huge school. I mean, it's a big school. But, you know, over the years, there's been so many changes in education, and there's been, for example, when I graduated from high school in the 1980s, and when I was in high school, you could do band, you could do football.
Yeah.
I don't know, you could do maybe a couple of other things. You know, and now, of course, students have lots and lots and lots of opportunities to do all kinds of things. That, and with the advent of block schedule, in many places, block schedule is the death of band program.
Yeah, I made this point to Mike.
And why in the world they allow it? I can't understand.
I don't understand it either, but they do, and they've got their reasons. But in most places, it kills band programs.
At Charles and Troy, I've been told that you know it's so block scheduling. If I understand it, is instead of taking 6 classes a semester, you take 4 or 3, and then you take it all in one semester.
That's right.
And then you're in class longer.
That's right.
But the end result is you have fewer electives. And so once upon a time, people could, when I grew up in the 80s at Charleston High School, kids took band, and in 1 class a day, they were in band class learning and practicing.
And nowadays, I don't want to speak specifically to Charles Henderson because I don't know their situation that well, but in a lot of places, like bands can't meet their band class. You know, it's all chopped up.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so in one class you'll get a handful of kids, and in another class you'll get a handful of kids, and you never can put them all together.
Well, Mark Walker, the outstanding band director at Troy University, Sound of the South. So, do you actually recruit, get on the phone and say, "Hey, you're playing in the Enterprise Band.
We want you here.
We want you here." Do you do a lot of that?
I do. During the fall, every Friday night last fall, for example, I was at a high school football game. Yeah. Talking to their bands, talking to the band directors, talking to students. I go out and visit schools frequently. I've probably been into 30 or 40 schools in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and trying to get kids to come to school.
And we're not knocking these programs. There's a purpose or reason for them not having as many members. But look at Enterprise. Enterprise probably 250, 300.
They run around 200, 250 people.
You got to sort of want to have a good band program to have a good band program.
That's right. And it's up to the administration ultimately.
Well, you make the case of why schools should want to have a good band program. Here's your chance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a good band program is the kind of tide that raises all ships. Yeah. It's like athletics. If you have a good athletic program, good music program, band, choir, whatever it is, and good academics, then athletics can raise the tide of the arts, and it can raise the tide of the academics. So academics raises the tide of everything. Band raises the tide of it, and it raises everybody up. And the problem is that band is really expensive. It is a big commitment. It's getting tougher and tougher for some schools to make ends meet, and when they're faced with...
Now, is that expensive for the schools to fund the program, which I guess you mean yes. But is it expensive for the parents to buy Susie a saxophone or a lesson?
It depends on what... some places provide everything for the students, some places don't. But most places provide things like tubas and the percussion and stuff like that, because a tuba costs $10,000.
$10,000. And you know what? Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Troy University marches more tubas than anybody in the country.
I had no idea.
I have counted 35 to 37 tubas. Is that right?
Yeah.
At $10,000 a tuba.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, can I brag? Can I brag this morning?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you knew this or not, but my daughter, Sarah Elizabeth, that's my law partner, she played in the $1 Million Band for 4 years.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
She was the #1 chair at piccolo. She'd never played a piccolo in her life until she went to Alabama.
There you go.
Well, she played the flute in high school, and they don't have flutes, I guess. Doctor can explain why they don't carry in a big stadium for some reason.
That's true. They're too small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she played piccolo, and I had to go buy her a piccolo. And this has been probably 15 years ago. And it was like $1,000 for a piccolo.
Yeah. And that's an inexpensive one. Yeah. Yeah, they're not cheap, and so.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you bought your child a piccolo yet?
Don't do it.
Well, we're getting in. I'm trying to get into why some band programs have fewer people, and so we're getting part of the answer right. And then another part of it is probably people.
Steve, need a cup of coffee, Steve.
More costly than that. I promised her when she was a senior, I'm gonna go to every single football game. I don't care where it's at. If it's in Starkville or Baton Rouge or wherever, And I looked at the schedule. It wasn't terrible. Well, guess what? I wound up in Pasadena, California. They won 14 games in a row.
That's an expensive year. That's an expensive year you had.
That was very expensive.
You take a program like the Sound of the South. I mean, it is a traditional program at Troy University, and people come to not only watch the football game, they come to watch the halftime show.
When you take the whole band somewhere, how many buses do y'all got to take to get everybody on?
We take 8.
8 buses.
8 Trailways buses to take Troy University Sound of the South Band. And people don't realize that even when y'all are not going to a game, you might be going to a band program somewhere.
That's right. We're playing an exhibition someplace.
Yeah.
And do y'all have scholarships for band members?
Yes, sir. We do.
And see, Alabama did not.
Right.
They paid her $2,000. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a difference in being a band school and not being a band pro.
Right.
Is that right?
I told her if she would go to LSU, every band member at LSU is on a full scholarship. They got that's the only place I think that does that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk about LSU, and Don Long always said it was a great band, but hey, no band any greater than the Sound of the South.
Thank you.
And here we go. Look,
that's awful nice.
A fresh cup of coffee.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Steve Camp. And,
all right.
Now I believe you're going to make it the next 30 minutes.
I'll make it for the next little bit, and then I got to go give my final. That's right.
What time is your final?
Guy and I used to always make jokes all the time about how many years we'd see different members of the Sound of the South. Have y'all limited that, or can you still play in the Sound of the South 7 or 8, 9 years?
Well, no. As long as you're willing to pay tuition, you can play in the Sound of the South. I reckon as long as you want. We've had a kid. I think the longest student. We had a student. I think it was 9 years, and we had a student this year graduate after 8 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me tell you this.
A great kid. Yeah. He's going to make a great band director, but he spent his first few years doing things other than school, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. A few years back, we went into LSU and actually beat LSU, and of course, LSU had one of the great marching bands in the country. Probably marched 400, probably at least that many. But the Sound of the South, we don't take a back seat to anybody. This is LSU. Bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum. You ever heard that?
Oh yeah.
All right, but hey, listen. Then the sound of the South gets up and blows that band completely out of the stadium. And does it make you feel proud that this band is as good a marching band as there is in the United States of America?
Absolutely.
And y'all, every band member has a pledge when they walk into the stadium that we're going to blow the other team out.
Well, how many band members do you have
band.
in a typical year that would march to the game? Or
the past several years, we've had it fluctuates between 300 and 350. COVID did a number on us, and so I think lots of folks saw the numbers go down a little bit, but I think we're crawling out of that.
Yeah.
Now, when you count that, is that the Majorettes too, or
everybody?
Everybody. Yeah. And it becomes like a family, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We call it the Sound of the South Band family. That's what we call ourselves. And yes, sir.
No, I was just saying with the conference expansion, I've always heard James Madison has a legendary band.
Yeah, had a big band.
They do. They do. James Madison has an excellent band. One of the things about our conference is that there's lots of terrific bands in the conference.
Hey, Southern Miss has a great band.
That's right. And one of the nice things is, of course, South Alabama is one of our big rivalries, and we have, the week of our ball games, the band students are, talking trash and all this kind of stuff. And it's a lot of fun, but the band director down there and I are close friends, and when we perform, we like to do a joint show together and get all the band students together, and it's a fun rivalry and that kind of stuff. But I've never been an athlete, but I notice that of course when you want to watch an NFL game and the two teams are playing. They help each other up off the ground.
Right.
The opposing team, they're all in it. I mean, they want to win, of course, and they play to win, but they're all still football players.
That's right.
We're all still band members. We're all still musicians. We're all still members of a university, and so we all try to do things. We poke fun at each other. Poke at each other, but it's all in.
We talk about those South Georgia kids that came to Troy and gave up a scholarship to come to Troy. Well,
right.
Let me tell you this: it means that much to these kids in South Georgia. Troy State University Sound of the South, or Troy University Sound of the South Marching Band, is extremely well known in band numbers in the state of Georgia.
Yes. I love it when y'all can go to an away game and perform, because you're ambassadors for our university to hundreds of thousands of people that are watching it on TV
and I know it costs money and everything, but I hope that when we have an opportunity, I hope that we'll possibly take the whole band to some games.
Oh, we will. I'm fairly confident. I haven't got my travel approval yet, but I'm fairly confident that we're going to take the full band down to South Alabama.
Good, yeah.
And one of
the last time we played them, ladies and gentlemen, in band, counting the band, the football team, it was something like 21 Trailway buses total.
Yeah.
That's a lot of buses.
And now buses are costing about $4,000 a piece.
I know they're
and that's just to go to Montgomery.
You're right.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and y'all do that a lot. Y'all do go to Montgomery in different areas.
Yeah.
See, we have learned that it takes 8 buses to get the Sound of the South to a game, and then now we've learned that it's $4,000 a bus. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've tried to.
A tuba is $15,000. A piccolo is $1,000.
Well, he said not even a new piccolo.
Yeah, right. It's expensive, that's for sure.
What about the saxophone? You play. How much is a nice saxophone?
Where do the instruments go? They go on a bus or they go on a truck?
Yeah.
The instruments. It depends on what kind of trip we're on. But the small instruments go with the students on the bus. The larger instruments go under the bus, and then our other equipment goes in a truck.
Yeah, but sometimes I know many times over your 20-year tenure at Troy, now you've been 20 years total.
That's right.
Yeah, total, and just think of the kids, coming back late at night. Sometimes at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when y'all get back from a game, or used to, and the way it was. But could you ever get? Sometimes there'd be some kids making a noise and some people wanting to sleep. Do they almost get in a fight or what?
Well, I don't know. I don't look. I sit in the front of the bus, and I never look behind. No, not really. Everybody's real cooperative on the bus.
But these are college students, so they're going to have fun, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
There's students that end up getting married that met in the band.
Oh, that's right. We've got a number of students over the years that have gotten married and have had children and start their families, all because they meet in the band. And that's one of the things I tell the freshmen when they come in, and this always makes them feel real creepy. But I tell the freshmen, I said, look around the room. So they look around the room and I said, you might be sitting next to your future husband or wife.
Oh, you're exactly right.
You might be sitting next to the future mother or father of your children. They're all like, oh no.
Oh God. But it's the truth. But it is the truth.
Hey, in a typical football season, how often do y'all practice a week, and what time do y'all practice?
We practice every day between 4 and 5 o'clock. On Thursday nights, we're in the stadium between 7 and 9.
And a lot of people don't realize it, but they can go in and actually watch it. And it's something to see. Now I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's kind of like watching sausage being made, because at the beginning of the process, of course, everything's a mess.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The band doesn't sound good. They don't march well. It's just a mess. And then over the course of our rehearsals and our time put in, it just gets better and better and better.
But y'all are doing a lot in classrooms and performance halls.
That's right. The music majors in particular. Everybody in the band, just about, with a few exceptions, has to play in concert groups. So they got to play in concert bands. We got a bunch of students taking lessons. All the music majors are involved in other performance ensembles, and they do other classes.
In fact, a lot of people don't realize, but concert is your cup of tea, isn't it?
Well, I like it all. I like it all. It's different. Nothing matches the Sound of the South performing halftime.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's a really special thing.
And you don't think, when you're leading that band, and it's getting louder and louder. Have you ever gone one more notch?
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes you just I don't know. You just want to bathe in the sound because it's just so awesome.
Well, let me just say this: the busiest people in the world are the Sound of the South on game day. Now, tell us from the very morning that they get up out of bed and how long they have to be performing or
ready to go
before and after the
sure.
game?
If we have a 2 o'clock kickoff, then we have rehearsal at, let's see, we have rehearsal from 8:30 to 10. All right.
All right, now they've already had breakfast now.
That's
you,
right.
You fed them a good breakfast, hopefully.
Well, that's on their own. That's on their own.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. That's right.
You don't get anything free.
That's on their own, that's right. And so we rehearse from 8:30 to 10, and then we break so the students can go grab something to eat, change clothes, and then we come back up to the band room at 11:30, so they get an hour. 11:30 they check out their uniforms, and then we go rehearse again. We do a warm-up on the quad, then we do Trojan walk, and then we do the pep rally at the tailgate terrace when the team comes on.
That's right, with the
then we go inside
the Trojan walk.
That's right. Then we go inside the stadium, and we feed the band lunch in the stadium.
You do feed them a box lunch, usually
like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, yeah.
And then we do the ball game, and then after the ball game is over, then we do post game,
which is fantastic.
And that takes anywhere between, it depends on how badly the band has been beaten up during the day. So,
but now
it'll last between 20 and 45 minutes.
That's right.
So that is a long day.
That's right. And
well, listen, we're not even talking about what if it started at 6.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And then after the ball game is over, then everybody's got to go back to the band room and check in their uniforms. They got to put up their instruments. They got see the band kids do everything. We don't have a staff of people.
Yeah.
So the band students set it up, then they perform, then they tear it down and put it all away.
Yeah.
And the same kids do everything. It's like if the football player also played basketball, baseball, ran track, played soccer.
Yeah.
That's what our students are doing.
And the football players have equipment managers to help them.
And then they got now. Do they always have? I reckon on a hot sunny day, everybody needs to wash their uniform. Is that right?
Who handles that?
Well, the university pays for washing the uniform, but we only wash the uniforms about every
couple of games.
Yeah.
All right.
A season.
Exactly. Well, I tell you, it is amazing. And y'all also do so many special things like. At homecoming, you see them just coming from everywhere, from downtown.
What about bands? Are band festivals as big as they used to be? Do y'all go to many of those?
We go. Yeah, it depends on the schedule every year. Last year we did 5 or 6. This year we're going to do 2. And that's just simply a function of the schedule and where they line up with the band festivals and our ball games.
Yeah.
And
I think Alabama's band played in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Have y'all ever been offered anything like that?
No, and the reason is because typically we have a ball game, and then getting the kids up there is just prohibitively expensive at this point in time. That's something that we're certainly looking at.
That's going. If that ever happens, there's going to be a local person or some donor's going to give you a check to go, and that's pretty much what you got to have.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, because
some donor that will send them up there.
Yeah.
You know something. Let me just say this, and I've been watching you all my life. It seems like the Sound of the South, which is the greatest band in the nation. But let's say that they're trying to rush downtown to be in the homecoming parade or Christmas parade at Christmas.
Right.
You see them coming out of these apartments all over. It's just a swarm of people running to the parade site to perform at the Christmas parade or at homecoming. That's how, don't have the bus. They're some of them are walking a mile to get to the parade.
They have to get there on their own.
That's right.
Yep.
And then when they get there, people don't realize that when they march there, then they've got to run back. They got to run back to campus.
Yep. That's right.
They run to the parade and then run back to the campus, and they have so much going on at that time. And of course, I love your pregame. I love the way that y'all do your pregame.
Well, thank you.
And whoever came up with that Trojan March, I just love that Trojan March. If you can't get fired up before the game, you don't get fired up.
How many people do you have helping you that are staffers?
Well, I don't have a full-time assistant, but I do have folks that do help. I've got some graduate assistants. I've got, and then I've got some other faculty members that come and help. I've got 2 faculty members, 3, and then I've got a lady that runs our auxiliary.
That's not many people, though.
And of course, when you got here, and you were.
What was your title when you came?
When I got here, I was the assistant band director.
Yeah, and under some real good people.
Oh yeah,
You learned. You not only learned from Dr. Long, but you learned from the other guys.
That's right, Ralph and Robert, absolutely.
And they are all personal friends.
Oh yeah.
And y'all, I tell you, just the quality of bands. None can be any more quality than the Sound of the South.
Is there any way to have any kind of numbers of how many band directors y'all produce out of Troy's band program in all the years?
Oh gosh, no, we don't. We haven't kept track of that, but I mean, it's in the hundreds, if not thousands. Going back with Dr. Long. Well, even since I've been here, we graduate. Oh gosh, I don't know, anywhere between probably 8 and 20 music majors per year.
Yeah.
So over 20 years, however many that is, that are going out and being band directors and music teachers of different kinds, and then you go back from back to 1965 forward. That adds up. So.
I'm not a band man. I love to listen to it, and I'm not an expert on bands, but some of the things that y'all do, like this, your fanfare, is that trill, what do you call it?
Yeah, trill. It's called a trill.
I don't believe I've ever seen another band do it, and I've never seen another band actually carry the guitar, a live guitar on the playing field.
That's right.
That's 2 things right there.
Yeah.
But in that trill, isn't that a unique sound?
It is. It reminds me of a spaceship.
Yeah.
So when we're rehearsing that on the field, I call that the mothership.
Let me ask you this, and I know you will. Do you ever get chill bumps?
Oh yeah.
And a lot of it's pride.
Every year.
Now, you're all right. They're graduating in today and tomorrow, and then the graduation is going on Friday. When did you tell those kids that they've got to be back on campus to practice for the coming football year?
August the 6th.
August the 6th, and you expect every band member to be in the band room.
That's right.
And now we have one of the best band rooms in the country.
That's right. It's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
And our facilities are next to none.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if we do, listen to this, Mike. If we do come up with an indoor facility for athletics, I bet you the band would be allowed to use that facility sometimes.
Yeah, I would hope so. From time to time.
So a lot of times when it rains and y'all got to go rushing in to shelter and everything, it would be great to have a facility that you could run to the indoor facility.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe that should when they're selling that product,
they ought to mention that. Yeah.
They ought to mention it.
That'd be great.
I'm a big music guy. I like to go hear shows, go to music festivals and stuff like that. Do y'all ever have any kids from the Sound of the South end up playing in rock bands and music like?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have a group in the university. We have a music industry program that's headed up by Robert Smith, and the group over there is called Populous, which is the formal name is the American Popular Music Ensemble, which is basically a rock band. And so a number of our band students participate in that. They're in the horn line. They play saxophone or trombone or trumpet or whatever. We have several that play drums in the marching band, but they also play set in the in Populous. Our bass player who plays in the marching band also plays bass for Populous and jazz band. So yes, the answer is yes. We have a number of students that do that. That play in a variety of the ensembles, and they some students go on and they're in rock bands or country bands or whatever in different places, or they're in some other aspects of music industry. We have a number of students who live and work in Nashville and Austin and different places.
The drum major is a big thing, and he's on full scholarship. Isn't he? Your drum major, he's not on full scholarship. No. You would think he was the quarterback. The quarterback, he runs the show, but you have two and sometimes three.
No, we only ever have two.
Oh, two.
Yep,
okay.
Yep, just two drum
majors. And they do a great job, and they're the leaders here.
That's right.
They're the leaders. They've got to be fired up.
What are their responsibilities as drum majors?
The drum majors basically run the band during the football games. They also rehearse the band. So the way we rehearse is that the drum major is on the podium in front of the band. I'm up in the tower, and I give instructions. But the drum major carries out those instructions and leads the band in the music and in the performance, and I just stand up on the tower and yell at everybody.
This is almost like This Is Your Life. Mark Walker, the bander at Troy University of the Sound of the South, and people from all over, whether you like band or not. Listen, let me tell you something. When Troy University comes out on the field to do their halftime show, let me tell you this. Normally you might see a lot of people going up to the concession stand or like in the stadium club, whatever. Let me tell you this. Nobody, I'm telling you, very, very few people ever leave the field until they've at least watched the fanfare to open up the halftime show or the whole halftime show.
Right.
People in Troy, whether they're band people or not, they want to see that.
That's right. And we design our shows to appeal to our home crowd.
Yeah.
We want our, and now we can't please everybody, but we try to please the most people that we can and play a variety of music that hopefully that most folks will enjoy.
Let me ask this, and I've always wanted to.
I wish I could remember that guy's name that used to sing with the Sound of the South. He was a band member, then he became like the singer during games.
I think
it was before your time.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. He's saying "How Great Thou Art." I think, and he's a big fella.
Yeah.
I've
always felt.
Dad and I were in Columbus, Ohio, for the Troy Ohio State game, and I guess they're famous for Dot and I.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Were you in the program then?
Yes. Yeah.
No. He was at Illinois, Mike. He went in at Ohio State.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
At the Troy game.
Yeah. No, I was not. I was here. I worked at Troy, but I was not at that ball game.
Yeah, that would. Yeah. And everywhere we go, though, we take pride in our football program and our excellent band program here at Troy University. And of course, just like everything else, you have to teach a class. Is that right?
That's right.
But you got a lot of other things to do other than have to teach a class.
That's right. I got. Well, of course, I run the whole band program, and then I teach classes in the fall and the spring. And administrative type stuff. And
now let me say this: our dance program is getting to be a big time. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And are they involved with the Sound of the South?
No, that's a totally separate thing. Yeah. We have dancers, but they are not affiliated with our dance program.
But Troy's getting a big time dance program, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Deborah Hicks is a good friend of mine, and she does great work over there. Her and her staff do really fine work.
How did y'all have to handle COVID over the last couple of years? I mean, we all have pretty much just having to do everything outside, or did y'all
the first year, everything was outside. We had to stay spread out 6 feet from one another, and we couldn't march, and we had to have bell covers, and we had to have all this stuff. So all we did was we just played music, and then athletics graciously allowed us to have the entire south end zone, so we were able to spread out in the ball games, and so we still played a halftime show. Yeah, we still played a halftime show, but we just did it in the stands.
And it was wonderful. It turned out to be very very unique.
It worked out well for the circumstances. And
then go ahead.
Yeah, and then this last year, fortunately, we haven't had the same kind of protocols. You know, the Sun Belt had different things. We couldn't go on the field until a certain time, and there were bubbles, and there were all kinds of other crazy things that we had to deal with. But hopefully this upcoming year, all that stuff will be gone.
Do you already know what your feature music is going to be for halftime next year?
I do. I'm not going to tell you, but it'll be a surprise.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask, what music did you listen to growing up, or do you like, or what's some bands that...
No, I mean, I listen to...
Are you a rock and roll man?
Yeah, I like rock and roll. I like country music. I like classical and jazz. I listen to just about everything. Yeah. But, you know, when I was a little kid, man, I was all about Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to say something. The Sound of the Seasons is a Christmas program that the band puts on every year, and it is outstanding. And I go, most time I go by myself, and listen, I am tickled pink with that performance show.
Thank you.
Every year before Christmas, people that have not seen that, it is big time.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Did it give you chill bumps to be?
Oh yeah, because it's
all the great music.
That's right. It's it's the whole college communication, fine arts, and so there's band and choir and jazz band, and there's drama and dance and all this stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It's like a big variety show. It's like an old style variety show, and it's so much fun to be able to conduct Christmas.
I've said this that the Sound of the South. Here is the Troy University football program, and most places you got the football program and then the band program down here, but it's not so at Troy. Mm-hmm. You've got the football team and the band standing right even together as far as value to our university.
That's right.
Very rarely, very few skills.
Well, as I made a point, we got 350 people in the band. We only got 100 on the football team.
But we're not talking about numbers, though. We're talking about value to our university, and our chancellor would say the same thing.
I think so. He's been very, very supportive, and we're very fortunate that he's always looked out for us.
You sort of sneaked up on those new band uniforms. We're going to go with that one next year.
We are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to have those for the next several years. Now, we had our old uniforms for 15 years.
Yeah, they were good, too.
They were good, but they were raggedy at the end. So it was time, and the university stepped up, and we appreciate that very much.
Well, it seems like to me that if you got 350 people, if you could have 150 that are with you for 4 years that have a real good experience, that's going to define their memories of Troy University to a large extent.
That's
It seems like it's a much better college experience if you are a part of something like band than just going to class and then sitting on the couch eating potato chips.
That's not what they're doing.
And we see all these great bands, and they're great bands, LSU and Marshall and Madison, bunch of great bands, but. To me, the Troy band has a special sound. Am I?
I think so. A lot of that is in the way that the tunes are arranged, and Dr. Long originally arranged the tunes. Then he handed it off to Jim Mahaffey.
Yeah, and he was good too. Yeah,
and that's who Ralph learned from. Robert arranged tunes for the band.
Yes,
and now we have. Former students of the band arranging for the band, and so everybody is sort of immersed in that kind of sound, and so that's the kind of sound that people write for.
Isn't it amazing the great talent?
Let me ask you this: how many instruments would be in the band played in a typical performance? If you can, I know just roughly, if you count them about 12 or drums.
Well, I mean, we have So we have drums of all kinds. We've got piccolo, clarinet, saxophones of all kinds, trumpets, baritones, mellophones, sousaphones, trombones, bass guitar. Yeah.
Let me say. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, just sometimes we had other things depending on what the show requires.
Yes, exactly. Now, when you're recruiting band members, all right, let's just say this. All right, you're looking at your band coming in. Well, I got 15 trumpet players and I got 15 trombone players here. Do you ever look and say, well, we need to recruit two more drumettes and whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. balancing out our program. I mean, that's an ongoing thing, because we do this. There's hills and valleys, and some years, right now, for some reason, trombones are hard to find.
Yeah.
So our trombones are down, but trombones are down everywhere.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Other years.
Is it because it's not a fun instrument?
No, it's just an up and down.
I don't want to play the trombone.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you have to do that all the time.
Right. But we got 50 trumpets, and so that's a good number. We got to go out and get some more sousaphones. I need more sousaphones.
More sousaphones,
yeah. So there's sousaphones are down, but trumpets are up.
They're instrument people everywhere. Do y'all either buy them or rent them? Your instruments.
Well, some of the students, the students on smaller instruments like piccolo and trumpets and saxophones and so forth, they buy their own instruments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Students on the marching baritones and sousaphones and things like that, the university provides that.
Does Samuel Frederick still help you in the band?
He does not, but he's still on the faculty. He still teaches music appreciation.
He's amazing. He's been around a long time. I've known him all his life.
Yeah.
He lived right across the street from my grandmother growing up.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw that out.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we have gone over a lot of the things that you need to know with the Sound of the South. And if you would ever want to donate to a great cause, the Sound of the South would be a great place to donate. And y'all receive donations, don't you?
We do from time to time, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, you have always, since I've been doing this since 1998, having a program like this, even in my latter stages, I have always marveled at the support that you give every program, like mine and other programs.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I appreciate the invitation very much.
And I tell you what, I hope you're here 20 more years.
I do too.
And of course, when you walk through that door, you can't help but feel the.
Let me ask you this: is the 20 years you've been here, aren't you kind of amazed at how the campus has transformed, the beauty of the campus?
Oh yeah. Well, when I got here, let's see, we still had the old quad.
That's right.
And it was, I think, my second year when they tore down the pecan trees. And everybody had
I know.
And then they put in that quad, and people complained about it, but man, it's beautiful.
That's the best thing ever happened to Troy.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew what they're doing.
Yeah, and of course the facilities have been upgraded and changed, and we have the beautiful Janice Hawkins Park, and I mean, there's just so much.
The band facility is pretty, and in the dining hall.
Oh yeah.
Well, listen, you're gonna take a vacation, aren't you? How many months are you gonna take off?
How many months? Yeah, that's right. That's right. I've got 5 days with my family down in Disney.
Is that all you're going to be?
I just got back. Yeah, there you go.
Well, great. When are you leaving?
Oh, it's not until the end of June.
Well, I'm glad you're taking a vacation. Yeah. But when you come back, it's almost time. Listen,
it is.
Listen, soon it'll be June, July, and then you'll ask, what's the date on the?
August 6th.
August 6th, all band members be on the field.
Do we ever have any band camps that we bring in high school kids that stay?
We have one that starts on June the 12th.
Yeah, and that'll be a big one.
Yeah, they typically those run usually 400 or 500 kids.
Yeah. And we're still getting that big group from Georgia, is that right?
That's right.
And also Dothan is a great supporter.
That's right.
Panama City Beach.
Yeah.
And
what about the Majorettes? It was a big deal when I was in high school for girls to learn to take baton lessons, but I don't hear about little girls taking baton lessons anymore. So I've wondered if Majorettes are not the big thing they used to be.
Yeah, well, it's not as prevalent as it was, but they're still there. I mean, we still have a Majorette line, and we still there's Majorette schools and things like that.
Well, let me tell you something. You gave us an hour of plenty of information.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
You know what I feel about you and your band. Quality man right here that's running our band program at the Sound of the South. Remember, if it doesn't say the Sound of the South when it comes to marching bands, you don't want it. We'll see you next year, and of course, I hope you'll come in the first part of the year and
just let me know.
Just and tell us what you need. You want a trombone player and 10 trombones.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back. Oh, well, we're going to finish it right here, and we hope that.
See you at the baseball game tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a great baseball game with Auburn tonight, right here in Troy, and of course, remember the Alumni Association's got hamburgers and hot dogs. You ought to come by and eat with us tonight, and of course,
the game starts at 6, is that right?
Dr. Mark Walker is ready for the coming year, and of course, we'll be looking forward to hearing that sound.
That's right.
I can sit in my den and hear the sound of the South.
You can hear that band all over Troy, Alabama.
That's right.
When I leave early for a game and go home in my backyard, I can hear the band.
Are you still getting excited? Is it still a lot of fun?
Yeah, it's still just like it was in 2002.
All right, buddy. Mark Walker, Dr. Mark Walker, the head of the Sound of the South Marching Band. Have a great day.